Exciting news is that Maggie O'Farrell has written a new book. And I know it's not out till June, but I really have to talk about this one now. Maggie O'Farrell, as many of you will know, has written 10 novels and children's books as well, but 10 novels. The one that we probably most know about is the recent Hamnet, because it was also made into a film. And basically, Maggie O'Farrell could write a comparative analysis of meat curing processes in Bolivia, Mongolia, and the Nordic fjords. And as long as she wraps it up in that luscious prose, I am going to read it. Land is a biggie, like it's a sweeping saga. It comes in at about 430 something pages. You don't notice the pages. It is an Irish set, and it's one of those novels that had me, I was about to say by the throat, that might be a bit violent, but I was just holding to the landscape of her opening, which is you have a father and son. The son is about 10, Liam, and the father, Tomás, and they're out on a peninsula on the west coast of Ireland in the driving rain, and it is 1865, and the father, Tomás, has been mandated, if you like, or is taking part in the Ordnance Survey of Ireland that the British government have ordered post the Great Hunger, or the famine of the 1850s. So we have an Ireland that has just got over this mass exodus of its population and mass deaths and mass evictions and the diminishment of the villages and of culture, which had been going on for centuries anyway, and of ways of life. And this is very much a book about the old Irish ways and the system that the British, for good or for bad, imposed on the Irish people. And I think that's part of what O'Farrell is looking at. So we have this is the main kind of tension in the story, is between this son Liam and this father Tomás. And Tomás is kind of taciturn, and he has, you know, a wonderful mind for looking at the land and the mathematics and the drawing and being able to sort of, you know, visually see things, something which two at least of his children inherit. Now there's Liam, who we have met, and then there is, after Liam, there's Enda, there's Rose, and there is baby Eugene. And there's his wife Fina. And we go back in time to where Tomás has come from and what his life, you know, had been like, and what brought him to the workhouse where he had met Fina, and what their life is like together, first living in Dublin and then moving out to out west. And the story, at its beginning, we have Liam and Tomás out on their own, out in this countryside. They're housed by the widow while they're doing the work, and the rest of the family's in Dublin. Irrelevant in a way, but we will follow Liam's trajectory through life, Tomás's trajectory through life, and the sort of starting point for the why of this whole book is Liam. On this particular day, his father tells him to go down into that dip and into that, you know, copse of trees, and to have a look around and tell him what there is to be seen and what needs to be measured. And as he goes in, he finds the stream and the thing, and it comes to a point, and the thing, whatever the thing is, but he's noticing everything, but he's feeling a bit oppressed by the place. And then he gets to this source, or a deep, still pool of water, and he feels something. And later, when Tomás goes in, he comes in and out of there transformed. What has happened? So there's a whole mystical, sort of pagan side to this, and there's a whole sort of pragmatic story about what was life like? What was eroded? Where did families go when things got tough? What will happen to these children? And we'll follow all of them. And it's very pacey, very rich in its story. And my goodness, it's loaded with the things that can go right and the things that can go wrong, the choices we make, the desperate difficulties of living off the land, and the way communities or small villages knew each other and how they helped each other out. It's full of symbolism, full of a wealth of Irish storytelling, and it's not just about the land, who it belongs to. It that's such a concept that O'Farrell is trying to kind of break away from, because that is what Tomás believes, is that the land and the system just draws lines on things. And that's boundaries are imaginary, but that's imaginary. That's a sort of historical imposition, but it keeps order in the world. I suppose what O'Farrell is getting us to look at is what comes out of the land and what goes back into it, which eventually is us, I suppose, as in every animal, and what it's like to be forced to live outside of a system or of a set of beliefs. It is rich. It's just her prose is to die for. It had me running to the dictionary for words that I'd never seen before. I know, me. It's a delight. The words just fall off her pen and you've got it, you're seeing it. And you're thoroughly invested in every single heartbreaking story at times of where these mostly where the 4 children are going to end up. And are they, because it was a time of migration, people went to Canada, they went to America, they went, to England. What do they feel leaving the land that they've grown up on? It's a tremendous read. It's one that you get swooped up in and you're off. You're on this, I'm going to mix my metaphors, but you're bobbing around in this great swell of story, and it is utterly glorious. You have to pick that one up. I mean, you have to wait till June and then you can pick that one up, but bloody hell do. It's a stunner. All right, that's it. I have gabbled far too much. Like and subscribe. I will say, tell me what you think, but if you have any questions, pop them in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.